Game number 2. Let's see if Allegiance can bounce it back as we get into picks and bans. Allegiance will have first pick and first ban this time around, and we'll see if they change their strategy up. As we said, I mean, honestly, you can't even complain about the picks and bans that Allegiance had because the game didn't last long enough for the composition to actually matter. I think whoever they picked...
I mean, it did, right? Because, like, you just died early, then you had a Nemesis. That's why you don't pick Nemesis, man, right? Like, I think Nemesis can work, but you need to guarantee that you have, like, an advantage in the dual lane and an advantage in the soul, so you don't have what just happened to you happen to you.
I mean, there's also that, but sincerely, honestly, Kevin, if that's an Isis mid lane and anything in the jungle, I still think Eager goes ham.
Speaking of jungle, we could see Allegiance first pick to jungler here just so Lassiz is comfortable because Eager, they're targeting him out, right? They took out Najat last game as well. They take it out second game as again, and then they banned the Hunbats in the second phase. It's going to be Apollo, though, going over to Oceans, keeping it away from Zapman, so no soul.
Yeah, keep in mind, I mean, as you said, the double jungle bans coming out. Anhur will be selected one more time.
I got to ask Zapman what it is about this Anhur. Because at first I thought it was just like, let's just take it away from Oceans. But now, like, that's not taking it away from Oceans. He really values this as the first pick right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll tell you right away. Zapman, from 2012 on, level 2, jump, impale, kill you. This is a meta that allows you to do. And between Golden Bow giving you 55 power early on, Anhur is ready to bang.
Like, the whole time I'm thinking it's like 40, but that was like the old Golden Bow. Like, oh my god, that's 55 power? Holy.
Anhur is ready to bang, ready to hang. So Eager's going to go that direction. Scylla as well. Oh, and you want the complete opposite of what Nemesis brings with late game? Lassiz will be playing Thanatos, that early game pressure. Shouts to my man Whitey Cracker out there, liking the Thanatos pick as well. Me too.
I have no idea what you just said.
No?
No.
Whitey Cracker, he's a nice guy.
Eager, they're going to run it back here. No reason to switch it up. More importantly than Zapman on here, I really love Aurora on Kumba and Best on Scylla. I think Best on Scylla might be one of my favorite god and player pairings next to like Thorgars because I just like, anytime he's on Scylla, I just feel like he's going to go off and carry, right? It's kind of the same with Stealth. Way back in Season 1 where it's like, Stealth got Scylla. Even though Scylla was considered bad back then, everyone was like, oh man, Stealth's on Scylla. no one played her but him.
And the Kumbhakarna on Aror, it's funny, because when you think of Aror, I think really everybody's sort of introduction to Aror, when I say everybody, I mean the fans at home, was Fenrir support, right? Just these odd, super aggressive. We associate him with Ares, etc. Kumbhakarna brings that damage, but also has incredible peel.
This is funny. Sorry. The picks and bans, right? Eager want Incon to play Zeus because they know he's immobile and they could target him out.
Oh, yeah.
And Allegiance, once again, they ban away Divios' Osiris, so he's going to go right to the Ravana that Allegiance brought last time. And I feel like Mattypocket's going to default to the Vamana. So last time we saw it was actually a control. It was Mattypocket getting beat by Divios' Vamana. And now it'll be interesting to see if Divios can beat once again in the reverse matchup.
So Nemesis, super late game. You know what? It didn't work. We'll go the opposite. Thanatos, the most early game you can get. Zeus, super susceptible to dying. It didn't work. You know what? We'll go the opposite. Zhong, one of the tankiest mages in the game. Allegiance have, I mean, they've taken the identify the problem and fix it to the nth degree. Meanwhile, Team Eager, Bastet, just feeling it.
I mean, Hunbats was up. I think Hunbats would have been better here, but DJ, I think he just wants to invade, right?
Yes, that's
DJ
what I was
and Lassiz have very similar styles, where these kind of junglers, like the Thanatos, like the Bastet, like the Circuit that are very mobile, can get in and out and steal camps. That's what they enjoy doing, and I think excel at.
Allegiance have identified their issues, whether it was the Zeus, the Nemesis, or combined, they've gone the opposite direction. Will it change the opposite direction of the win-loss? Let's take a look as we get into game numero dos. Well, we just saw an Apollo die in the replay. Let's see if that's going to be the same fate for Oceans or if he's going to turn it around. I like Oceans more on these traditional hunters. We've seen him on the solo a number of times.
I feel like the same, right? Like that's me with Zapman, where it's like, I just think he plays better, right, away from the souls. Obviously, you know, it's team comp and like early game pressure you get from soul, so it's a little bit interesting. But
Oceans, and confirm or deny, Oceans reminds you of a young Zap.
Yes.
Which is interesting because something that we haven't brought up today, which is surprising because we seem to always bring this up. Zap and Laz has obviously played together for a number of years.
Yeah, I know you're calling him Grandpa Zap, right? So he's a young Zap. You don't respect Zapman's skill, even though he's playing the best he's probably ever played ever since Season 0.
That's my man from Long Island. You can't do do this.
Hey man, Hindu's in the game too. Ocean's rocking the latest skin.
Oh yeah, there you go.
What's that one? What's it called again?
The
Hindu
Sex
man?
Pistol skin. I have no idea what it is. I mean, that's honestly, it's just punk rock Apollo. He's got a funny
Dude,
old
look at
accent.
that look at that jump, man.
Dude, he's just moshing around, dude.
Spinning in a circle.
He's doing the windmills. He's gonna pick up some change.
We'll have to see if Allegiance can have a little bit better of a game. They're going to start on these mid camps once again, trying to gain control of the timers. Right ones are going to go uncontested, but eager aware of this, you can see Allegiance right on top of a ward.
So no real surprises here as far as the starts are concerned. I know a lot of people, this is what's a lot of fun, watching the SPL after a recent patch, is to watch what the pros have done, because you know that these guys have scrimmed against some of the best players in the world over and over again. You want to take a look at the starts and what's different, and that's something that's very different, as Allegiance just walks right past their dual lane boars. They want to get to lane as soon as possible.
Something a little bit worrying here on the right-hand side. We actually saw djpernicus and Divios very late into that lane. Bastet does not have very good clear early on, and that's going to cause Eager to get a little bit behind. And you can see Lassiz already securing those fire elementals, so a little bit of bonus XP and gold for him.
Oceans and Mackie taking a little bit of poke from that on her. Oh, miss your one, you better run. Laz is in some trouble now after the Death Scythe misses, but so is DJ. First blood goes to Incon. Will there be a follow-up kill? And it will. DJ answers right back immediately and takes out Lassiz.
That was, I think, a blink burned by Lassiz as well, so trying to get the surprise there, is able to successfully take out the best, but this is going to allow djpernicus to get control of the jungle for now. Incon just going to get a little bit of free farm and tank up, and overall, definitely a win for Allegiance there. 500 gold in the pocket for Incon.
I mean, not even just that. Lassiz had a red pot intending to really utilize this early game power of Thanatos, coupled with the red pot dying this early. I mean, the blink down, sure, that's all well and good.
Ooh.
The red pot is really troublesome.
Can we actually hover over DJ? I want to see if he actually went red pot as well. No, so
Nope.
he's completely fine with this, but Lassiz still trying to get aggressive. This is what you need to do as Thanatos. Even if you die early, you need to keep up the aggression. Still very strong.
I mean, even without a red pot, Thanatos scales at 60% pretty much across the board.
Death Sight, like, just chunk.
Death Scythe, I mean, it does flat power, flat damage and then percent health. Like Thanatos is just
Oh,
a powerful
Oceans.
god. Oceans gets jumped on. There's the level 4 jump, and there's the impale. Zapman with the okie doke. 2 kills for Eager, and that's a classic Zap play.
I mean, that was the Oceans play in reverse almost. No crit needed.
Nope.
Zapman just closes the gap, hits the auto straight into the impale. It was just a beautiful execution. Also, a little bit of mistake. I wouldn't say a mistake there, but as the second Zapman jumped, So Beautiful actually came out from Ocean, so he couldn't turn around fast enough because he was locked in the animation to dash away. Because of that, his dash got cut off, too.
When did Anhur come out?
2012.
Zapman's been doing that since 2012, so no surprise there coming out from the veteran hunter. As we see, Mattypocket chased all the way under his tower, 100 HP. Ooh, a lot of aggression coming out. And here's Lassiz trying to punish Divios.
He recognizes, though, there's the blink, a little bit of damage, still the silence available. Divios doesn't have ult, and this is something he always does, but Lassiz gets rooted out, and it looks like Divios will be safe for now. Very close to that execute threshold, though.
Not using the ultimate. Usually early game, you'll see Thanatos' use that ultimate for an initiation factor, getting that stun into a silence into some of the damages is usually more effective than an early game execute. So curious the decision from Lassiz to go ahead and just walk into lane. But either way, the pressure has been done. So Mattypocket gets chased out of lane. So does Divios, all things equal.
Eager, though, have evened the first blood for the most part here, as Allegiance only lead by about 200 gold. And Divios versus Mattypocket here. Gonna go pretty even.
Ocean still jumping around here. Still certainly not out of it. As we take the head-to-head look, Zapman with the arms crossed. And actually, this is one of the first times we're actually going to get a look at Oceans. I've never actually seen this character.
Hey, he looks fine. He's not a character, he's a person.
He's a
to
character.
Respect Oceans. Sitting there with a 2.8 KDA. Pretty good considering, you know, Allegiance have been struggling in the Pro League. You can see right there. 5 and 12 right now is their wins and loss. Also, that damage from Zapman on average is massive for a hunter. Averaging 22k damage a game, that's insane.
That's what I was going to say. The 2.8 KDA that Oceans has right here, that's a above. That's a very good KDA.
That's solid.
It's just
For a losing team, that's solid.
I mean, for a middle of the pack team, it's just the fact that Zapman has 4.0, which is obscene, so it pales in comparison to that. But a lot of Ocean's play really does remind me of Zapman. The aggression, the calculated aggression that Zapman's been able to show. Here's the 1-2 punch. Scylla over the top. Lassiz is going to get jumped on. Best off of the combined assist from the trio of support
I
jungle.
think Mackie was trying. You actually saw his ult just come crashing down. I think he was trying to line it up with Lassiz, but unfortunately, Incon was in front of him, so he wasn't able to get that. He wasn't able to get the damage reduction onto Lassiz in time, and just kind of that 1 versus 3 wombo combo you saw there, and that's really what Eager's comp is based around.
djpernicus now getting a little bit aggressive, taunted into some damage, but not too big of a deal.
And now Lassiz has boots online here, but he's going to start struggling if he, can't keep up the aggression or keeps getting picked off. DJ a little bit behind in gold, but at some point here soon, DJ is going to become a monster. Once he has Jotuns online, Bastet in the mid game, right around level 10 to 12, when he has 2 abilities max and he gets that combination from his passive, it is a lot of poke damage.
For sure.
What's the passive called again?
Which one?
I'm trying to think. Bastet's. It's like wounds. It's like bleeding wounds, something like that.
Razor wounds.
No, that's the ability.
Mortal wounds.
Mortal wounds? I don't think that's it.
I'm just making it up as I go along, and that's pretty much
Come
what
on, man,
Allegiance
there's
is
too
doing
many
here.
passives in the game.
Going for the Gold Fury here. Half HP, Zapman will show up, but really it's more about the aggression. Blink forward from Lassiz, the Death Scythe will miss. Hey, Kevin.
Really nice timed by Zapman there. I'm listening.
Can you say Death Scythe 3 times fast?
No.
Oh, Incon can't say it either, though. There's the ultimate of the Zapman. Ultimate pop from Incon. And look at Zapman stay out of the radius, and DJ goes right inside, takes out the mid laner. Mackey's going to find a way on the south side as Lassiz heads towards mid. And there's Oceans. Thought about ulting over, but realized it was over far too soon. So no rotation from the Hunter. Leaves 1 kill on the side of Allegiance as Eager bring their kill count all the way up to 4.
And once again, I really like Eager. They're playing a very respectable game. They definitely had an opportunity to try. If they knew that Apollo's ult was down, they definitely had an opportunity to try and force that Gold Fury, but instead they go to wave here. And once again, they're actually looking to set up kills. They're not trying to force this too early. They're playing a very respectable game.
And that's what's really
over the
impressive
wall.
here.
Oh.
Mackie gets smacked. And there's the hit from Aror. Go ahead. 5 kills on Eager. And this is really impressive, honestly, from Eager. Because of the amount of dominance that came out in game number 1, I mean, Kevin, they won it in 14 minutes. It's very easy to get ahead of yourself and go, okay, we could just do the same thing. But resetting and then slowly, a lot of different pace this time around, but still a lot of aggression.
This? I don't know why Incon kept that. Lassiz going deep, trying to fight, and Incon's doing the Gold Fury. Zapman in a little bit of trouble, though. Here comes Mattypocket. Should be able to close the gap and trades out 1 for 1 so far.
Rotation from the solo laner pays off. Matty rotates, Divios doesn't, however. And now djpernicus uses Purification to avoid the big old taunt into the damage from Oceans and Incon.
This could be a possibility for Allegiance to force Gold Fury, but they waited a little bit too long. Instead, they're going to 3-man split the left side wave as they have a wave pushed in the middle lane. Mattypocket does mid Harpies.
And I like this decision. In fact, this is what you have to do. Not only do you 3-man split, but since you have the heavy presence over here on the left side, looking for more, finding the red buff in the enemy jungle. Incon might pay for it, though. Half of his HP already eliminated thanks to the Best and Aurora combining. Root done to the mid laner, jumping forward as djpernicus. Ultimate doesn't quite matter as Incon falls to the hand of DJ. That's going to be 3 kills in total for the cat.
That was really surprising from Allegiance, right? Obviously, they were able to return the kill, but they spent so long. They all 3 went to the wave trying to pick up DJ. They don't get it. Then they did Boars, very slow. Then they do red, but at that time, they have to expect that Eager are spawning or coming from their base. It really doesn't seem like they're actually thinking about what they're doing. They're just reacting to what's in front of them.
Again, I liked the play. I liked the decision from Allegiance to get aggressive and go for
Mackie.
the enemy jungle. Pale gonna miss, but they just stayed a little bit too long. Zapman and Aurora going to come wrap around the other side, and they're going to be greeted by Oceans here. A couple of basics fed into the guys on Eager, but nothing really to shake a stick at.
You know, despite everything, though, the game is still pretty even right now. You can see, looking at the gold, only about 600 separate the team. That was, first blood in reverse. A little bit of an experience lead for Eager. 1,500, though, not that massive, heading into close to the 9-minute mark. Really, the biggest problem would be Incon behind, but the Best also hasn't been able to farm efficiently. You can see him sitting there at level 8, even though he's found himself a kill and 3 assists. A lot of the problem is that he's been rotating 2 fights that haven't gone in his favor.
Lassiz is going to blink forward one more time.
Really utilizing this blink as much as he can.
I mean, and that's exactly it. Blinking on cooldown, looking for that surprise death scythe, just looking to chunk people down and put them in a position where they can easily be killed by the rest of his team. As you see, Lassiz is always closely followed by somebody, whether it's Makey or otherwise. There's always somebody there. So when the death scythe hits, they get slowed, they get a chunk of damage, and then there can be some follow-up. Unfortunately for Legions, we haven't really found that situation really executed correctly yet.
You can see Eager very deep here on the right-hand side, looking to try and find a pick, but no one's going to be surprised too much there. I like that ward coming up from Eager at those mid-harpies because no one really ever places sentries there, so they don't have to worry about it really getting countered. And right now they know exactly what Lassiz is doing, and that's a lot of the times where you'll see Lassiz or jungler sit. It's in the mid-harpies, especially considering he has Blink. He's trying to utilize that.
Roy's going to go ahead and mez out too. He's going to take a little bit of poke for it, but a lot of damage coming out from Zapman and Divios. Well, he's going to take out Makey, jumping forward. Zapman not going to find the jump, but Aror hits the target into the sky and immediately starts backing because he knows he's got the kill. 9 in total for Eager. Legions only have a third of what Eager have been able to achieve.
Poor Makey. My man successfully ults out of the fight at like 1 health, but he ulted over to Mattypocket, and Divios he's just like, what up? And then he just gets the kill onto Makey, feeding the solo laner a little bit there. That fight goes the way of Eager, however, 2-1, and continuing to win in these fights, but they don't really have a massive gold lead.
Yeah, poor Makey. I mean, that's really the definition of the old idiom, out of the frying pan into the fire. Just like from one terrible situation to the next, just really rough. Lassiz going to get smoked out by Divios. Not going to find a kill, however. He'll be safe under tower. Divios doesn't quite want to dive just yet.
Had his ult, but doesn't want to risk going in there.
Yeah.
The movement speed from Thanatos, probably a little bit too much for him to guarantee the hit, and only baits himself into an awkward spot and forcing his ult. Not really needed there, so plays a respectable fight there, not wanting to risk anything.
Yeah, and Thanatos' ability, Death Scythe, can really surprise you, right? You turn around, all of a sudden you have more HP than you previously thought. Divios surrounded by 2.
After stealing away Lassiz.
Doesn't really seem to mind, though. In fact, turns around to go back and take the speed buff.
Lassiz here, level 11, needs to start getting worried. Jotun's online for both junglers, but this is where Bastet starts to shine.
Yep.
Cat's doing an enormous amount of damage, also has the combination Eager, trying to force this Gold Fury, though. They know Lassiz backed, and they're going to get it for free.
Yeah, no contestation coming out from the guys at Allegiance, or at least they tried, but Aror certainly said no to Incon, and Best is going to say no to Incon. Finds the root, doesn't find the crush, so not a lot of damage dealt to the Zhong.
I love watching Best position himself in these fights. It's always very strong, always make sure not to put himself in an awkward spot here. And now another root coming on to Lassiz. He's going to heal up a little bit from Death Scythe. And they get hit with the crush and just poke damage coming out from Eager right now.
One of my favorite things about the Best playing this Scylla is that he always finds the roots in such a long way. It's going to be the turnaround. Aurora looking for the initiation with the curse. And Allegiance will turn completely around, popping Sprint. And the ultimate at Incon finds one, but Divios able to answer back immediately. Lassiz jumping on the right side. Divios will follow suit. Death Scythe will miss. And Divios just has to wait for his root to come up. 3 seconds, but a strong blink away from Lassiz. Will be met by djpernicus.
DJ could get outplayed. There it is. All right. Yep. Can't miss that massive a cone. Got a little bit worried for him there if Death Scythe had hit. And now here comes Divios trying to block out Mattypocket. Oceans actually takes out DJ from ulting over to the dual lane, and nothing Zapman can do about it. He's locked under the tower.
Zapman tries to do what he can. 5-11 read the kills. Allegiance have answered back successfully in a lot of these engagements. Eager now still leading by about 2,000, give or take, but Allegiance look a little bit more alive in this one.
That was a really nice turnaround from Makey and Incon.
Yeah.
You could tell someone made the call and both full committed to it. After the sprint comes out, the curse is completely negated that Aurora had popped, and they just burn the Best as fast as they can there, get him out of the fight before he can even ult, and that was probably the key there.
Yeah, and like you said, the turnaround, the call, that was just flawless. Really, MrMakey has been brought onto the board of Allegiance, primarily for shot calling, I think, was the communication from the guys
That's
at
what they
Allegiance.
said. That's what Allegiance had stated.
Yeah, so right there, that's proof in the pudding that, it's working in a correct direction, at least in this game particularly. Absolutely love that call.
5 to 11 read the kills, though. Eager's still getting the best of the fights, but the gold's not that different there. 1,600, and that's all the Gold Fury at the moment. The early one picked up by Eager there a couple minutes ago. The experience still in Eager's favor. They're starting to kind of trend away from that. You can see Divios has a level, 2 levels on Aror specifically, and that's not the worst, right? If your support is 2 levels behind, and that's most of the experience difference, that doesn't matter too much.
Lassiz looks to get aggressive, but Aror blinks behind him for the 1-2 punch. There's the ultimate out of Lassiz, and it will be enough, but he goes forward, and the dot from DJ takes him out of the sky.
You can see, actually, DJ just making space there. Doesn't want to get close to the Incon. Oh, there it is. Mackey also caught between 3 players, rooted out. Mattypocket's made the rotation, but he's only going to find himself dead if he stays, and quickly backs off into tower. Double kill coming off for Divios. Zapman wants to box. He wants to fight.
Yeah, this is the 1v1. Zapman ready to take it to the bank. Half HP on Oceans. Look at Zapman pop that mana potion, knowing he's not done. Mattypocket, on the other hand, might be a different story. Find safety under a tier 2. Eager not willing to go that far, but Divios certainly is, forcing Matty up into the big baby, and that'll be enough.
Curse came out as well, trying to reduce the healing, but no one on the team wanted to dive. Left-hand side, Zapman trying to make a play. Can't make it, though. Tower very low. Oceans needs to be careful, but he'll be fine. He's going to push Zap back there. And now, Allegiance. Now it's starting to get rough for them.
Yeah, we're seeing this is the Eager that we saw at minute 3 last game. They're
15 minutes.
They're just hyper aggressive. They have not a small lead, but a medium small lead, if you will.
Okay, that's a decent lead.
It's a youth large, right? It's a youth large.
Oh my God.
It's a little bit medium. It's a little bit small, but they've got enough of a lead to really transition into playing this aggressive game, playing this surprise gank, this just foot on the gas. Zapman just going right for it, and DJ going to deal some damage to Mattypocket.
Just poke. That's what Bastet excels at, is just poking players down.
Making sure you're never comfortable. Whether they're stealing your camps or stealing your life, Bastet is going to be a big part of what makes the enemy feel uncomfortable. And there's DJ one more time. 6-2 and 8. And the Sanctuary will make sure that the 2 remains. DJ's going to find the slow outside of the cone of what Incon's able to do. And Divios, on the other hand, still chasing Lassiz. Ultimate from Athena will help save his life just a little bit. And Oceans makes the rotation all the way from the long lane. And a lot of damage coming out from Allegiance, but unable to answer back.
Bested Zap. Mackey actually goes aggressive. Really surprising considering the rest of his team was about to die. Zapman's made the rotation as well, finding some nice autos into Incon, but Mackey has not had the best set I've seen from him. He hasn't played many sets, but this is probably the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit rough. Here's the ultimate of Zapman, trying to find a little bit of poke on Lassiz. Clear out the wave as well. And we'll see a whole bunch of players back here.
Aror wants to fight. You can see Bester on the corner has ultimate online. All he needs to do is set up once. Incon walking in, actually going to get slowed out, and there's the blink and the beautiful pillar. We've seen this a lot from Incon this set. Really just like putting himself into a position and then gets pincered in, and it's just great play and heads-up awareness from Eager. They're going to find Oceans. This is interesting here. Mattypocket's rotated back in, looking for Aror.
Best just goes up looking for the raw ult, can't find it. djpernicus jumps forward, can't find that one either, but the Best on the other hand finds the crush onto Lassiz. Aror will live through the passive. Wonderful blocking coming out from Eager, making sure that nobody can find the kills. Different story for djpernicus. 8-2 and 8 for the jungle Bastet. 16 out of 19 kills have djpernicus's mark on them, Kevin.
Allegiance are just repeat. This is not an Allegiance. This is the worst set I've ever seen from Allegiance. Don't get me wrong. I think Eager are playing phenomenally, but they have done all season. This is just Allegiance looking so sloppy across the board. Every single player as well. It's not like one player's not playing that well. It's everyone's walking in and out. In that right-hand side, 4 members were poked out, 2 would back off, 2 would go forward, and just one at a time, Eager just kept repeatedly finding kills. And because of that, they were able to, I think they ended up deciding everyone, although not at one time. And that was just because Allegiance kept trying to walk back in at like half-life or lower and just got picked off one at a time. This is very sloppy and not an Allegiance we've seen all season.
Ocean's going to look for an hi-rez, but can't quite find it as Eager smokes the Gold Fury very, very quickly. And honestly, I mean, listen, I don't pretend to know what's inside the players' heads. I'm not in their comms, but it takes a very strong individual to not be tilted after game number 1. And then especially you're off to a pretty even start early on, and then it just slips out of your hands. I mean, it's very tough not to say that these guys have been affected. So, I don't know. Hopefully Allegiance is very confident in their comms. As you can see, they're still finding objectives. Left-hand tower will go down, 500 gold onto the side of Allegiance, but the situation remains 19-5 for the kills, and Eager leading this contest by 8,000 gold just 18 minutes in.
Aror actually going to go aggressive there, find a Mez, and force his sprint coming out of Legions, and now he's just going to wait to use his curse. He doesn't need to burn it, and it's going to be very hard. There comes the curse. Incon isolated on his side. The stun could come out from Lassiz, but doesn't look like he's going to do it, as Oceans has already fallen, and one at a time, Allegiance continue to get picked off.
Mattypocket trying to find the kill onto the cat, but djpernicus pops the Sanctuary, so no harm being dealt to the feline jungler. Mattypocket finds a way out with clear the path, but he'll be met with some resistance. No slow hit. And P.S. Support for support. Aror takes out MrMakey.
This is gonna go through. This like mentally, Allegiance are done, dude. This has been an atrocious set for them here. They once again very surprised, I guess. I guess they weren't expecting Aror to blink on them on that left-hand side. You know, he had only done it like 6 times so far this game, right? And then they get mezzed. And then they all split in different directions.
And Laz is hanging out in the jungle with 0 HP. Divios makes sure that that's not an exaggeration and actually brings Lassiz to 0. The Thanatos has 7 deaths in total in this contest. And honestly, like, I mean, sure, we can talk about Allegiance dropping the ball, and I do think part of that is the fact. But Eager, I mean, you got to notice. djpernicus has been on fire.
Yes.
And that's been one of the bigger problems for Eager. They've been strong. They've been winning despite a lack of performance from DJ in the majority of the games. He started turning up recently, and that's allowed Eager to find a couple more wins. And this game, 9-9, this is some of the best performance out of djpernicus we've seen. It allowed Eager to succeed in general. Flat out question mark, speed buff, map changes. Is that it?
I mean, it's helpful for DJ, right? He's going back to a god pool that I think he excelled at.
Yep.
Cirquet, Bastet, and it's kind of like the same for Lassiz. Now, Lassiz wasn't able to get anything rolling, and a lot of this, like, it's interesting, too, because I wouldn't put it on one single person. Right. It just seemed to be all of Allegiance struggling individually to where they would all get picked off in their own lanes, and then at that point, it was just Eager playing a very respectable game, not trying to... They didn't really force anything that was out of their control, right? Game 1, right, they kept getting the picks, so it was much easier. Game 2, they weren't able to find the picks as easily. Allegiance had some nice plays in that mid lane there with Incon and Mackie trying to combo back, but it really seems like it's just all of Eager playing at such a high level, and now that DJ, I think, is more comfortable, I think we're going to start to see them excel even more. I
mean, that's the thing here for Team Eager is that they like I said, they've been successful all season, and a lot of the spotlight has been on djpernicus. He steps it up in this game, and everybody else on the team is able to do pretty much the same thing. The map benefits djpernicus, which in turn will benefit Divios because DJ is able to go into the enemy jungle, and then on the other side of the map, it's still the Hunter season. Zapman has been performing extravagantly all season. This change to the map, certainly not going to affect him in the slightest. He was able to really run this game, not just this game, but also game number 1. I mean, being able to just 1v1. This is Zapman. Pillar, not even needing it. Just hits the stun, hits the damage, and then Zap's able to rotate and affect the rest of the game.
And we saw that multiple times where Zap would actually position himself around walls and then just find Oceans as he's like rotating back to lane or walking into the jungle, and it was just beautiful. Also, a really good job on him, was able to rotate to team fights here. He finds himself with a solo Gold Fury at 12 minutes. Obviously, you know, Best helped him kill it in the end, but that was all him.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, this is even in the second game right here, still with an incredible slash line, 3-1-7. And look at this. Look at the clock. This is the important part. Level 4 on this Zapman Anhur thus far. 2 minutes or less on the clock. And here he is. He's just able to go all in. And watch this. Jump forward, hit him with the impale.
And Oceans the whole time is trying to juke, but it just, Zapman with the perfect timing.
I mean, that's the definition of Zapulated. Just the on-her jump into the damage.
Yo, his
the
pillars
into the
pillars have been
basics.
hot as well. Immediately after that, we actually saw Aror, right? He did get killed by Mattypocket under tower, and then when we rotated the camera back there, Mattypocket was getting completely blocked from Zap and his pillar.
Yep.
So he keeps Aurora alive with it as well. Really beautiful play coming out from him, and honestly all of Eager playing kind of how we expected them to.
Yeah, I mean, Eager has turned up earlier in the season, and with all things working on all cylinders, this is a team that's extremely, extremely scary.
And it's going to be interesting. Moving forward to the rest of the final weeks, let's take a quick look at the standings. With those 2 wins, Eager have now tied for second once again. They're going to be sitting at 11-5 there next to Soar.
Yeah, Luminosity 10-6. They've got an opportunity this week to go ahead and usurp that 3rd place from Team Eager. In fact, that opportunity will come very soon. That's not the next game, but the game after that. But again, standing implications. Soar going head-to-head against Randozos. They could possibly move up as well. Luminosity versus Enemy. These next 2 games, Kevin, just this Thursday, let alone the rest of the week, this is a situation where all that 1, 2, 3, that can go up, down, left, right.
I mean, the top 5 in North America all realistically can make DreamHack, right?
Yep.
Enemy, Soar, Eager, Luminosity, and honestly, even Denial. They're sitting at 7-7 right now,
Yep.
but I think Mask on this team now, they're looking a lot more scary.
I completely agree. Denial in a much different situation. They've been a lot just more dominant, like we always bring up the synergy of the team.
Yes.
Orange Dog Meme Sports looking very, very strong. We've got a lot of teams coming up for you up next. Make sure to stay tuned right here on hi-rez TV. We'll catch you in a few.